about construction is in the planning phase when we're working on paper and on the computer, it's easy to try 4 options to see which one's the best. But once the contractors show up, it's very difficult to undo something and go back. It's quite expensive to do that. So we really want to make sure we take time up front to do good planning so that when construction starts, that the money is being spent responsibly.
Complexity of mechanical and electrical systems and lighting, the products and the material that's going to be going into these buildings, get the contracts set in place, get the material selections, final selections done with the contractors, and get all the parts and pieces on site so that when we start after school's out, we're ready to go. It's making sure that, as I mentioned, you are coordinated with any of the hazardous material items to make sure that those things get removed. There's also the school district occupies these buildings and they have a lot of stuff in them, and when we're going to be tearing things apart, we need to have time figured in to make sure they can get all their stuff boxed up, taken out, and cleared out so that we've got the space to work and clear out, and then they've got to have a move-in time at the backside too to make sure they get all their stuff put into place and back in place so that they can ultimately do what they're tasked to do, and that's teach kids.
Hills is getting the elevator work done, which we determined now that really what it needs is some safety override switches basically and some electrical work. So that's going to happen this summer. Their playground's going to get some upgrades, so that's really this year the hill work.
That building really will be completed in one summer, and we'll look at starting potentially with the addition work before school is out, working outside the building, outside of the zones the kids are at, developing a plan to ensure that there's a safe environment for kids and staff to work, as well as the construction workers. Prior to that, to get that piece going, because of the nature of that project, in addition, it takes a little bit longer than just simply the remodeling. So we'll want to get that going as soon as we can in the spring. And then once school is out, we'll start in with the demolition process and open up all the areas and start putting all the new back together. And the schedule would have that completing in August and getting things ready to go for school in the fall of 2013. So that would also include the roof work, the mechanical work, the electrical work, the flooring work, ceiling work, some of the casework items. That's really the bulk of what's there on the inside, as well as the exterior site work after school's out. There's some reconfiguring of parking lots for separation of bus and parent drop-off.
Hilltop, they also have some playground work to do. They have some equipment the paint is starting to peel off of it, so we're going to get that redone. And we think we'll probably add some pieces of equipment there as well. The sound system in their gym is really not very good, and so there'll be a new sound system, and that's something we can get done this summer. Demolition,
getting the systems exposed, doing any modifications, demolition at that point. Mechanical, electrical systems on the exterior of the building. There's some roofing envelope issues with some tuck pointing and some recaulking and some things that need to be done. Reconfiguration again at the entrance to try and separate parent and student drop-off traffic from bus traffic, and so all that site work will be happening that first summer in 2013.
Grandview is going to get elevator. The elevator needs some work to be brought up to code, but it's also over 25 years old, which is kind of the useful life of an elevator. Figuring out the best solution for that, whether we do the short-term fix now or whether we do the whole elevator. And there's also some playground work there that needs to be done. Most of that actually is probably groundwork. The path going down to the playground is in real bad shape and really too steep for people that have trouble moving or in wheelchairs, so we're going to be reworking that. And I think that's the Grandview work for this summer, isn't it? At the high school, remind me what we're doing at the high school.
It's the security cameras, looking at potentially expanding part of that this summer.
The press box at the track is in pretty tough shape, so we're going to be looking at doing that. And again, that's a project that doesn't really touch a whole lot, so it's easy for us to get that done this summer.
We still need to develop the schedule. We're working with the school on what works best on the locker room areas, the pool areas. There's potential that some of that work could happen in 2013, but the bulk of the work at the high school project, again, will happen in the summer of 2014. And then the last main school at Grandview is slated for 2014, and again, that would be the parking lot work on the exterior, all the inside work, the window replacements, the roofing, the mechanical system changeouts, the finish upgrades, flooring, ceilings, electrical service, some of those things. So that work would basically happen after school is out in 2014 and be put back together before the kids come back in 2014 fall.
One of the tricks to doing school construction projects is a huge amount of preparation, because really you have about 2.5 months this summer to do a construction project, and so it takes a tremendous amount of planning to make sure that happens in a linear fashion, because the kids are going to come in September no matter what, and we need to make sure that the contractors are done. So.